What's up, everybody? It's Mr. BuildWealth, and I'm back at it again. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm here to share information and resources that can help you get started with building wealth. The title for this session is called Accountability Partner. Now, I wanted to come on here and share this story. This is actually about a client who I recently connected with last week. It was part of our usual kind of, I'll say, catch-up meeting where we just kind of talk through some things that are going on in her life and just seeing what we need to do next. As always, we do some work, we check and measure our success or lack thereof, and then we try to move forward on something else. And so she called me with a question, and it's good that she calls me because I know in the past sometimes she's just made decisions which have, I'll say, put her in I won't even say a real bind, but it just could have been a lot easier had she kind of checked in with me prior to making some of these decisions. So this is why I stress to people around why, like, you should have an accountability partner, why you should have a financial advisor or coach or even a team of people that can help you to make sure that your financial house is going to be in order and stay in order. So for her, she makes great money and she is always making, I'll say, wise financial decisions. And then, like, human nature sets in because she likes to shop and she likes to travel. And she travels a lot for work. And so we always have these issues around she would not pay off like a small debt. And then when I would reach out, she's like, oh, I'm on a trip. And I could never figure out, was this like a work trip or was it like a trip for leisure? And so I was always kind of there, like that voice in the back of her mind of like, what would Jasper think if I do X? And so it's funny because at one point we had talked about just around like appreciating assets versus depreciating. And then she pops into one of our meetings in a brand new car. And I'm sitting here like, didn't we just talk about like not getting this car? And it wasn't even that she couldn't afford it. It was just we had other priorities that we needed to get done. And she literally pops up to the meeting, honks the horn, and is like, hey, I got a new car. And I'm like, okay. You're human. I can't stop you from doing things like that. It's like my pet lovers, right? I can't tell you not to get a dog or a cat. It's just you've been wanting to get one or you have to have one, so you get it. You just don't think about, or maybe you do, all the expenses that come with owning a pet. But whatever, you're going to do it anyway. So just like with this car, so my client pulls up in the car. I'm like, okay. So we got past that. But what we said after that meeting was, I need you to start saving some more money. I need you to think about investing outside of your retirement account. I need you to work on just a few other small things that will round out your financial house. And so what I start to do for a lot of my clients is I put them on a simple action plan. And I mean simple, because I know if it's not simple, you're not going to do it. You're already afraid to talk money. So I don't want to kind of layer it on by making things even more challenging. So I'm really trying to work with you to figure out, what can I push you on? What I need to pull back on? And, what do you value? So I'm always trying to think through like what motivates you and what will get you to take action. And so she's going to shop and buy stuff. So we talked through that. And, I sent out, I send my clients a balance sheet and I would just say, fill this out. And every quarter, fill this out and just send it to me. And for her, we started out just with that. It was, I got to see what you do when I'm not like calling you every month. So it took us a while to get there where she wasn't sending me the updates. I was kind of asking for it. She was always late with it. And then she slowly, after probably a year or two, she just started sending it to me like clockwork. Like even here's when I knew that working with me was very beneficial. And the fact that I knew I had finally like reached her. Like this is when I knew she was out of the country. Literally in the email, she says, I'm sitting on the beach with a drink, and all I could think about is I owed you my balance sheet. Blew my mind. Blew my mind. I said, you are on the other side of the world, on the beach having a drink, and then you decide to do your balance sheet. And that's when I realized I got her. She gets it. She understands that it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. She sent me the balance sheet. Halfway across the world, thinks of me on the beach having a drink. And that's when I realized we were going to do great things as we continue to move forward. Despite any setbacks or things that she doesn't, any advice she doesn't take from me. I just knew the fact that you thought of me on that trip, we're good. And so we've had this kind of interesting relationship where when we do our updates, and she's notorious for this, she will give me all the good news. And I mean, she layers like, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. And I'm always waiting to see like if she'll just confess to what she didn't do based on what we spoke about last time. And I always think, what is she or what has she not done? And this is why you need somebody in your corner, because she knows when she calls me, she can't keep lying. Like, we're making success, which is what I love, and I'm happy that she's continued to make that investment in herself for me to, kind of give her that gentle nudge, give her some of that, I won't even say tough love, just like I'm being honest with her about, you keep telling me you want to do this, but the actions aren't lining up. And so part of me serving as her accountability partner has been, I want to keep you on the straight and narrow for as long as I possibly can. But I do realize you are a human being, and sometimes you're just going to do what you want to do. And I got to respect that as your coach, your advisor, your planner. I have to expect that with any client that I work with. And so I'm always thinking about, again, what she's not doing. And she always confesses, but it's always after she's layered up all this positivity. And then she's like, oh, by the way, or she's like, well, I also have you know. And there's always this funny inflection point during our conversations where I'm like, here it comes. And I always laugh. And she's like, don't laugh at me. I'm like, but it becomes our thing now. I expect her to do all these wonderful things, and she still won't do like one thing that I asked her to do. She'll do everything else, and there'll be this one thing. And this one thing for her, which is the struggle for a lot of people, is sometimes we focus on paying off the wrong debt. And that was her issue for the longest time. It was getting that car. It was, I'm going to pay off my car first. I'm going to pay off the house. Meanwhile, we had credit card debt. And so for her, I would always say, I need you to pay off the credit cards first. Like, that's the problem. You're not paying off credit cards and the interest rates are killing you. But she was focused on, I'm going to pay off the house, I'm going to pay off the car. I'm like, those interest rates are so much lower than the credit card. And yet, we haven't gotten there yet. And so I serve as her accountability partner to always remind her that if we are going to turn this corner for real, we've got to rid ourselves of the credit card debt. And mind you, I coach her on, I don't mind you using credit cards to reap all the rewards and benefits, but you're not paying off the bill in full. And that's what I have a problem with. She could be getting even more credit card rewards and points and flight miles or whatever she has. But I said, you have got to focus on the proper debt. But she's done everything else we talked about. It's phenomenal the progress she's made over the years we've worked together. And that's the whole part of why I love doing what I do. I'm just holding you accountable. That's it. You tell me something, I want to see you achieve it. And whatever I can do to help you to get to that milestone or hit that goal, that's what helps me sleep at night. So if you don't have an accountability partner, I need you to get one. I need you to consider making that investment and really begin to working with somebody who can hold your feet to the fire. Now, granted, I know we need accountability partners in a whole lot of parts of our lives other than our financial planning lives, but that's where I'm really good at. I want to be your financial accountability partner. Whatever frequency we need to meet, I'm flexible, but we have got to begin to realize that left to ourselves, we will not achieve generational wealth. We might not even get rich. We may just keep perpetuating generational poverty, and I can't stand that. Like, I want to disrupt that. Like, maybe it's you getting a financial accountability partner that's going to help you get over this hurdle, whatever that hurdle might be. So if you find yourself not being able to jump over these hurdles or bust through this wall or whatever the issue might be from a financial planning standpoint, hit the link in my bio, schedule a 15-minute call, and let's just see, might an arrangement of some sort work for you. So again, Mr. BuildWealth is always here to serve as your accountability partner, but you just got to let me know that you're ready to get started. And just like the client I've been telling you all about today, she's a work in progress, just like me. I do silly stuff too. but at least we talk about it, we laugh it out, and then we keep moving forward. And a lot of us, we can't even talk about it. Like, we're afraid to even talk about it. So maybe just talking about it is your first step. And again, if I can be of some service to help you out on this journey, please let me know. I'm more than happy to assist. All right, everybody. I'll catch you next time.